I'll just briefly introduce. You can sit comfortably for a few minutes, save your knees if you need to. Uh, Over, well, last couple of weeks, I've been introducing a particular theme. And I just want to make sure, can everyone hear me all right? People in the car, just, you can hear me? You can hear me all right? Cool. The theme has been how practically and in real terms you deal with discomfort. Cool. Okay, is that better? How you deal with discomfort, because discomfort is a thing, and the things about it is that if you're not conscious of the levels and layers of discomfort that you have, they make you choose things. They make you jump away, close off, get annoyed, and you might not even notice. So it can be quite unconscious that all of a sudden you've jumped off. But actually, the reason you jumped off was that you felt a bit of discomfort in your heart chest area or your knees or something. But it just happened. You didn't even choose. So the conscious awareness of discomfort is one thing, and how you deal with it is another thing. And that gives you the ability to really choose. Oh, I'll stay, I can handle this, I can carry on, rather than closing off or cutting off or getting irritated and annoyed. So in relationship to discomfort, there is also an awareness of another thing, which I think is a very good thing to incorporate into your meditation, which is awareness of tension. To put it in a graphic way. Because tensions can arise for lots of reasons, both physical, contextual, and also from one's past, or situations, or thoughts and feeling tones that are going on in the background. And the body, to put it in simplistically, is a body-mind. Your body and your mind are just interconnected. And by becoming aware of tension in your body, you don't just notice the immediate contextual thing of your knee is sore, but also something is bugging you, and you're anxious or you're tense about something. And you, again, that shows you what's going on in a way in your life. Yeah. And that tension can happen on lots of levels in the body, from the more obvious to the more subtle. You just feel heavy, for example, which really shows you that there's something not flowing and light in your life, for example. So in this first meditation, which I'm going to guide you into soon, that will be the theme. Dealing with tension and discomfort. So I'm not, and I very rarely do, lead formal meditations when I lead the classes here. It sounds a bit lowering, but they're like training the wheels. It's more like stability wheels. I just give you things to focus on with the theme. So rather than going through the stages which you learn at the other classes, I'm doing something different. Yeah. So the main focus in terms of meditation in the first part, in the first part will be the body and the breath. But I will guide you into that. So in terms of those two things, relaxation or tension, and comfort, discomfort, I think it's just a very good thing to set the intentions regularly that you're going to check your body for tension. And I remember very clearly when I made that decision to do that, how shocked I was that this shoulder just always went up. It just always went up. And it was like every 5 minutes in the day. I'm glad I started that process, but it was a pain. It was like, relax, relax. And sometimes you find out why. I don't think you have to, but sometimes you find it. For me, it was all had to do with the great aunt who I lived with until I was 10. She was lovely and she did love me, but she was a bit of a dragon. She was the only one in the family who was, actually. But if that were so, okay. Not relevant. I can just let it go. So I just give that as an example, personal example. It might be clear what it's about, or it might not. And in a way, just keep going. Just keep softening. You don't have to get analytical. I don't about my aunt. Thank heavens. But I have to say the whole family got tight. It wasn't just me. She was the only dragon in the family. So in the meditation, because we're not doing anything else practical or in the world, you can just pay attention to that. You can set that intention in the beginning and just check, soften, lower, open, relax. That's a nice little sequence of directives. So check, lower, open, soften, relax. And the tone of voice that you give yourself those commands, you probably can see this, isn't going to be harsh. It's going to be, it's quite kind, which is really important in meditation. How you give yourself directives. Soften, rather than, I'm not even going to be harsh. It's all soften, lower. And the tone of the thought is kind and gentle, but also the thought is quite at the back of the mind rather than at the front. This is something for newer people that you can just experiment with. What the hell is he talking about? Front of mind, back of mind. But you just get used to it after a while. Back of mind directives. Soften. It sort of goes in better. So that's that. And then, excuse me. Then the topic of discomfort. Well, you could say comfort, discomfort, but just focusing, being aware on the topic of how do I deal with discomfort? And do you have I don't want to know, kind of attitude, or, I want to get into it, too much kind of attitude of, well, it's a thing, let's deal with it, kind of attitude, which is like a middle way between the two extremes of, good, a nice juicy discomfort I can get my teeth into, or duvet mentality. He just got a nice duvet. Sorry. So you're finding a way of deciding, intending to be open to discomfort and being up for it, and acknowledging in a way right from the beginning that the discomfort is on lots of levels. It might be on a very physical level, knees might hurt, or it might be on a more existential, emotional level. You know, there's something not quite right and it's giving you discomfort in your heart, chest area, you know, for example. So it's a range of discomfort. So you're going, okay, so I'm going to be up for being aware of discomfort. And then comes, in a way, your strategy. So I think strategy with big things like this is important and helpful. And I'm just going to suggest a few things, and just suggest that you give them a go for yourself, make them your own, and see how they work for you. And there are other ways, but these are kind of quite basic. So I'll use a physical example, which could be applied to any kind of discomfort, right through to existential. So I'll use myself as an example here. I've had for a long time, more than 20 years, trouble with my shoulder. I've had operations, I've done all kinds of things. None of it has helped much. So basically, I always have discomfort in that. And so there are a few things that I always do. I sort of, first of all, I feel it. That's the first thing. I just feel it. But rather than just honing in on it, is I let it be there within my broader experience. So I'm aware of I'm aware of the topic, you know, and I'm aware that when I do this, there's discomfort. It doesn't hurt, but it's discomfort. So it's taken in. That's the first thing, rather than just cut off. Then the second thing is that I'm generally have a broad, expansive awareness. Now, this is something that just develops over time when you do meditation and mindfulness. That, you know, you might find initially your awareness is quite constricted, and tight. But over time, you notice that your general sense of yourself becomes more open and expansive. That is an important component in this process of dealing with discomfort, that you can tune in to a more expansive, open frame of mind. Yeah. So you have the awareness of it, you have the openness, expansiveness, and then you have a quality, a particular quality. And the quality that I would recommend is kindness. So I might, for example, visualize one of my hands, just visualize it, just holding my shoulder in a kind and tender way. So it's not just awareness, but it's an awareness imbued with kindness. And I might, to add another quality, patience. This is long-term thing, yeah. So being patient with it rather than annoyed, irritated, angry, throw my toys out of the pram kind of thing, patience. So those two underlying qualities, I mean, they're generally very helpful. Kindness and patience. And a third, and I'll mention this in the meditation, is more for determination to stay with what you're doing rather than get just distracted by it. So we're going to be focusing on the body and the breath. So the gentle determination is to stay with that process rather than to jump off it for one reason or another. Something in your life might be annoying you, distracting you. You will determinedly come back. Now, there's a lot in that in terms of abilities of coming back, but I'm just going to leave it at that you have that as a thing. So kind awareness, patience, and a gentle determination to keep your focus, to call it that, or area of engagement. Clear? Any questions about that? Good. Okay, so set yourselves up comfortably, poised. Vajramitra or someone, could you just adjust these ones just a little lower? One touch more. Perfect. Thank you. So I'm just checking who's here online. Good. Excellent. So this is going to be about 20 minutes. Just drop. So when I give a suggestion, say it to yourself. Find your own words, make it your own. Arrive. Arriving into the sense of the body. And if you feel comfortable, closing your eyes and settling into the awareness of your body. And now being aware for a moment, do you have any background preoccupations which are here about other things or things that have happened or discussions? Basically, decide you're going to put them aside for this meditation. Be clear about that. You're not going to use the meditation to work them out. Quite consciously, as it were, put them outside of your immediate range of experience with not now. Not now. So you've done that sort of bit of clearing, and that then any other things that take you away, thoughts, dialogues, monologues, fantasies, you will say, not now, and come back. Clear intention. and that you're going to have the theme of being aware of tension and discomfort, and to deal with them as and when they arise, if they arise. So set your posture up nicely, poised, relaxed, and the general practice will be the body and the breath. So first of all, a general sense of your body and any tension anywhere. And if you notice it, soften, loosen, drop, and open. Making that your own. Now still staying with a general sense of your body, setting the intention to be open or aware of discomfort. And that when you notice discomfort, you'll be aware of it, and then you'll expand your awareness. Be open to the quality of patience with it, and you're staying with the focus on the body and the breath. Just letting those directives reoccur in your own mind, making them your own. How you deal with discomfort. Expansive, kind, and relaxed. Patient. And just doing that now with any discomfort that you notice. Setting that process going. And now, particularly bringing awareness to your seat and your legs, contact with the ground, and how it feels. Is it comfortable? Is there any discomfort there or any tension there? Softening, settling into it. And now moving your awareness up from your seat into your belly and awareness of the breath. And put one hand on your belly and feel the movement. Tune in to the movement and rhythm of the breath. And when you've tuned in, you can put your hand back down, but stay with the movement in the belly and how it feels as the breath comes in and goes out. You don't need many words here, it's more about experiencing. Gentle determination to stay with this flow and movement and rhythm. Clear direction. So you have your direction. Now you notice if your effort to focus is too soft and distant and sloppy, in which case you get a bit closer, or too tight, in which case you soften your attention a little bit. And just settling into this now, the belly and the breath. And if there's any discomfort, just being aware of it, expanding, relaxing into it, kindness and focus. So just for a moment, expanding, is there any tension? If there is, soften, loosen, lower and open. And then come back. Clear engagement. Being patient with yourself when your mind drifts off, but determined. And if you do give yourself a hard time about it, just be kind. Keep going. Still with the breath. Now raise your awareness up to your heart chest area and the breathing, and that whole heart chest area generally, how it feels. So it's the sort of breath and everything. So you clear area of engagement. The heart chest area, and particularly the breath and its movement and how it feels. Don't need many words here, but just the experience. And just taking a moment just to get a sense, is there any discomfort in this area? If there is, be open to an expansive awareness, relaxing into it, kindness and patience, but keep the focus on the breath. Noticing if your mind jumps away and just patiently but determinedly bringing it back. Heart, chest, and breath. Check for any tension. Soften. And now, staying with the breath, but in the nostrils. Adjusting your effort. If it's too soft or too hard. So you can just relax into the experience of the breath. resting. Just resting your mind, just staying with how you are, being open. And being aware of your sense of comfort and relaxation. Now, two things just to finish. Be open to a descriptive word or a couple of words for how you are now. Just ask for a descriptive word and just notice what comes to mind. Does it fit? And then secondly, if there's an image for how I am now, what's that image? And be open to an image just emerging out of your sense of yourself sitting here. Does it fit? And when you're ready, opening your eyes with sort of wide angle view and sit comfortably.